Yeah, guys, so if you are building something and you want to scale pretty fast, this is three things you got to do: build, measure, and learn. Right? There's a very important process or method that most builders ignore. So what does this mean? So first of all, you have to build. Now, most people, when they start building something important or something they feel is going to solve a problem for a society, for a group of people, instead of them moving to the people whom they think they need and actually asking them and finding out if they will actually purchase a product or actually use the product or go to some extent to actually use the products they are building, or they won't. They are going to hide from their audience or their target market and build on their own. Now, that's not exactly right? Because you want to find out if the people you are building what you are building for really want it, right? So you have to touch grass, you have to go to them, you have to like ask them questions, you have to, find a mini prototype or something and save them with it and then get the feedback yourself, right? So getting the feedback is what we call measure here, right? So you want to know what's the flaws in the system you think is so perfect for these people. What is going to be the flaws, right? What is going to be the bad point that you are integrating without even knowing? So if you touch grass, if you go to these guys and you build and you give them the most minimal thing you built, and they are able to give you feedback on, oh no, I don't think this is an important feature, or this is an important feature, I think the application or the solution or your service is missing, right? Then you get to measure from there. Now, after you have measured, then you make your analysis, you make your takeouts, you make your add-ons. That's learning, right? So build, measure, and learn. Now, this principle, as basic as it says, most people ignore that, right? Some guys, they start building stuff and then they feel, oh, let me just hide 2 3 months, 6 months. Let me just build something amazing and let me shock the world with it. Trust me, you may shock the world though, or you may get disappointed in 65 out of 100, most people get disappointed. So you don't want to be disappointed. If it's food you are making for people, you have to get the people whom you think are going to buy the food. So for example, let's say you have an application. Now when it comes to the measuring, that's why I'm going to give this example for. So you are building an application, let's say for disposing of bottles in your area, right? There are going to be two types of people, right? There are going to be the people who actually need a solution, and there are going to be people who, don't really need a solution, right? So, whilst you want to build and measure, you have to go to those guys who actually need a solution. So, if me, I don't really need a solution, and then you build something like this for me, I might be asking for extra stuff, right? Extra stuff that I think is going to make the application important to me. But those guys who really need a solution, who are going to use your application, right? They will, just the minimal aspects, just the little things that are going to solve their problems is going to be their priority, and you don't have to do extra. And when you're beginning, these are type of people you need to know, the people who actually need the solution. Not everybody is not always your target market. The people who needs the solution is your target market. Now, this principle can be found in the lean startup book written by Eric Rice. And yeah, this is a basic something you'd want to do if you are building something and then you want to scale. So you build, you measure, and then you learn. You don't just start up, you don't just start something, a business, or you don't just start and then off you go, and then no, you're going to make mistakes. So you have to get in touch to the people, to your customers, before you roll out. And that's what we call an MVP in software, but in the service business, it's called knowing your customer, right? So you have to get to the customer. The customer is the most important aspect if you want to build something, right? Something that probably is not tested, something that is going to be new. You have to know your target market, and you have to know them quick, right? Not when you are done, not when you spent 2 months building something. Immediately you want